Day 14 of the Revelation Reading Challenge. Revelation chapter 14. The Lamb and the 144,000. Then I looked, and behold, on Mount Zion stood the Lamb, and with him 144,000, who had his name and his father's name written on their foreheads. And I heard a voice from heaven like the roar of many waters, and like the sound of loud thunder. The voice I heard was like the sound of harpists playing on their harps, and they were singing a new song before the throne, and before the four living creatures, and before the elders. No one could learn that song except the 144,000 who had been redeemed from the earth. It is these who have not defiled themselves with women, for they are virgins. It is these who follow the Lamb wherever he goes. These have been redeemed from mankind as firstfruits for God and the Lamb, and in their mouth no lie was found, for they are blameless. The messages of the three angels. Then I saw another angel flying directly overhead, with an eternal gospel to proclaim to those who dwell on the earth, to every nation and tribe and language and people. And he said with a loud voice, "Fear God and give him glory, because the hour of his judgment has come, and worship him who made heaven and earth, the sea and the springs of water." Another angel, a second, followed, saying, "Fallen, fallen is Babylon the Great, she who made all nations drink the wine of the passion of her sexual immorality." And another angel, a third, followed them, saying with a loud voice, "If anyone worships the beast and its image and receives a mark on his head or on his hand, he also will drink the wine of God's wrath, poured full strength into the cup of his anger, and he will be tormented with fire and sulfur in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment goes up forever and ever, and they have no rest, day or night, these worshippers of the beast and his image, and whoever receives a mark of its name." Here is a call for the endurance of the saints, those who keep the commandments of God and their faith in Jesus. And I heard a voice from heaven saying, "Write this: Blessed are the dead who die in the Lord from now on. Blessed indeed, says the Spirit, that they may rest from their labors, for their deeds follow them." The harvest of the earth. Then I looked, and behold, a white cloud, and seated on the cloud, one like the Son of Man, with a golden crown on his head, and a sharp sickle in his hand. And another angel came out of the temple, calling with a loud voice to him who sat on the cloud, "Put in your sickle and reap, for the hour to reap has come, for the harvest of the earth is fully ripe." So he who sat on the cloud swung his sickle across the earth, and the earth was reaped. Then another angel came out of the temple in heaven, and he too had a sharp sickle. And another angel came out from the altar, the angel who has authority over the fire, and he called with a loud voice to the one who had the sharp sickle, "Put in your sickle and gather the clusters from the vine of the earth, for its grapes are ripe." So the angel swung his sickle across the earth and gathered the grape harvest of the earth, and threw it into the great winepress of the wrath of God. And the winepress was trodden outside the city. The blood flowed from the winepress as high as a horse's bridle, for 1,600 stadia. May God bless this reading. I'm trying really hard not to share my thoughts, because if I start to share my thoughts, I will go on and it will make the video so long, and that will put off people. I want the highlight of these videos to be the content of Revelation itself, and it's really making me think. And as I said in the two previous videos, the attention in these verses are being drawn to endurance. Most times we're focused on the flowery part, the joyful part, the loving part, and I've been planning on making a video on this, but Revelation focuses on the loving part, on the flowery part as well, but also on the judgment part, because you cannot take away from God's justice, you cannot take away from his righteousness, you cannot take away from his holiness when you look at mercy. And when you look at all these words written down, it is sprawled in a way that it points the attention back to mercy, because every second that the clock ticks, every moment that we still have is the grace of God. Now, many people look at Revelation as if it's all about doom and gloom. But even looking at the doom and gloom, you recognize the grace of God. These people that have been called by God are people that were rejected by the world, people that were scorned, people that were martyred, people that were ostracized and killed. When you think of early church history and the number of people that were martyred, and you see things like this, most times we focus on the negative perspective where, there will be so much cataclysm, but the cataclysm is on the unbelievers, on those who have rejected God. But this is the payoff for a lot of people that has been consistent in the faith, and the language keeps on emphasizing that we should endure. Remember, church, endure. He who has an ear, let him hear. Press on. The one who endures to the end, the one who perseveres to the end. I know I've talked about a lot of takeaways from reading Revelations, and I said earlier that one of the takeaways that God is righteous, that he's powerful and he exacts judgment and he has all authority. But another takeaway is that we have to endure. There is a payoff in the end, and once you focus on the fact that there is a payoff, then you will receive joy. I just want to emphasize on this verse, a verse that gave me a lot of comfort in a time of grieving, and it is verse 13 that says, "And I heard a voice from heaven saying, Write this, blessed are the dead who die in the Lord from now on. Blessed indeed, says the Spirit, that they may rest from their labors, and for their deeds follow them." And as I've said before, as much as Revelation can look like something that is all, oh my gosh, the world is on fire, apocalypse, it also points to rest and rest in the Lord. And on that note, I will just say thank you for all those who join me in reading Revelation chapter 14. I'll see you tomorrow to read Revelation chapter 15. Goodbye.